It happened in the middle of a light-hearted interview. The kind of talk show moment fans usually expect to be filled with jokes and harmless banter. The host leaned forward, smiled mischievously, and asked the question that had followed Sam Heughan for years. "So, Sam, what's your type? Describe your ideal woman." For a moment, Sam laughed, brushing a hand through his hair. The audience giggled, waiting for the usual playful answer. But then something changed. He paused, his smile softened, and a hint of sincerity flickered in his eyes. "My ideal woman?" he repeated, almost to himself. "She's strong, kind, intelligent, someone who challenges me but also understands me, someone I already know very well." The host tilted his head, amused. "Someone we might know too?" Sam hesitated just long enough to make the room lean in, then said quietly, "Caitríona. She's kind of everything I admire in a person." The studio gasped, followed by laughter, applause, and that stunned hush that comes when a truth has just slipped into the open. Sam blushed, chuckled awkwardly, and tried to deflect with a joke, but it was too late. The internet had already lit the fuse. Within hours, social media erupted. #SamSaidIt, #CaitríonaSthone, and #Outlander confession began trending in more than 10 countries. Fans clipped the moment from the broadcast, replaying the subtle pause, the honesty in his tone, the way his voice dipped slightly when he said her name. On TikTok, edits appeared with soft background music and captions like, 10 years of chemistry, and now this. But for longtime fans, it wasn't just about the words. It was about what they had seen for years. The looks between takes, the shared laughter during interviews, the way Sam always seemed lighter when Caitríona was nearby. This confession, playful as it was, felt like a curtain finally lifting on something fans had sensed all along. Entertainment outlets pounced immediately. E! News titled it, "Sam Heughan finally admits who his ideal woman is, and it's exactly who you think." People magazine described it as a moment that blurred the line between real and real once again. In the middle of the frenzy, Caitríona Balfe herself was asked about it during a separate interview. She smiled, a knowing glint in her eyes, and replied, "Oh, Sam? He's very charming, isn't he? We've always had a special connection." It was the kind of response that didn't confirm or deny anything, but only deepened the intrigue. Fans dissected every word, every look, even the tone of her laugh. Within hours, Outlander fan pages flooded with side-by-side clips. Sam's confession, Caitríona's reaction, and years of behind-the-scenes footage showing their undeniable bond. For many, this moment felt inevitable. Since the beginning of Outlander, Sam and Caitríona had carried one of the most intense on-screen relationships in television history. Their portrayal of Jamie and Claire Fraser wasn't just believable, it was electric, emotional, and real. Every press junket, every red carpet appearance, every affectionate glance only fueled the idea that maybe, just maybe, what fans saw on screen wasn't entirely acting. Still, Sam had always been careful. He'd spoken of Caitríona as, "my partner in crime, my best friend, the most talented woman I know." But never like this. Never with that hesitation, that quiet honesty that made even the host's grin fade into silence. Clips of their early interviews resurfaced, him teasing her about her coffee addiction, her calling him ridiculously handsome but annoyingly humble. Fans edited them together under the caption, "From laughter to love." Others analyzed his body language, pointing out how his eyes softened when he mentioned her name. One fan tweet summed up the global mood perfectly. After 10 years of flirting, banter, and denial, Sam finally said what we've all known in our hearts. Caitríona is his ideal woman. As the world buzzed, Sam stayed quiet. No clarifications, no press statements. Just a brief post on Instagram, a candid photo of him and Caitríona laughing during a set break, the caption reading, "Grateful for the best partner anyone could ask for." That post received over 1 million likes in less than a day. The comments were flooded with heart emojis, quotes from Outlander, and thousands of variations of "we knew it." Behind the noise, though, something felt different. It wasn't a publicity stunt. It wasn't a rumor crafted for attention. It was a fleeting, honest moment. One where Sam's usual careful composure gave way to something vulnerable, human, and deeply affectionate. For fans who had followed their journey for nearly a decade, it felt like a confession not meant for the cameras but spoken straight from the heart. As one fan page poetically wrote that night, "He didn't need to say he loves her. He just had to say her name the way he did." And somewhere, between laughter and applause, between truth and performance, the world couldn't help but wonder, had Sam Heughan finally admitted what his heart had been saying all along? The days following Sam Heughan's confession felt like a storm wrapped in a love song. Clips of the interview flooded every corner of the internet. TikToks, fan edits, reaction videos, all looping that single moment when he looked down, smiled softly, and said her name. Caitríona. It wasn't just another celebrity soundbite. There was a vulnerability in his tone, a pause that seemed to carry 10 years of friendship, chemistry, and something unspoken. Entertainment reporters debated whether it was just banter or something deeper. Talk show hosts replayed the clip with teasing commentary, but for fans, the debate didn't matter. They had already decided. This was the confession they'd been waiting for. One fan wrote on Twitter, "He didn't just say her name. He felt it." Another joked, "We've waited 10 seasons for this, and he just dropped it like that in a casual interview?" Within a week, the story had evolved from gossip into a full-blown fandom celebration. Memes of "my ideal woman" quotes spread alongside heartfelt tributes about friendship, love, and destiny. YouTube channels dedicated entire videos to analyzing the interview, frame by frame, searching for every micro-expression, every glance that might reveal the truth. Meanwhile, Caitríona Balfe kept her usual calm. During a press junket a few days later, she was asked again about Sam's now viral comment. She smiled that familiar, patient smile, the one fans had seen countless times, and said simply, "Sam has a big heart. He says what he feels in the moment. We've shared so many years of working together. I'm just happy people can see how much we care for each other." But as she spoke, there was something in her tone, gentle, sincere, that only added more fuel to the fire. Fans clipped her response next to his original words, calling it the softest confirmation in TV history. Behind the scenes, though, those who knew them best weren't surprised. A crew member from Outlander later told a local paper, "They've always had this rare bond. It's not about romance or headlines. It's something purer, mutual respect, love, and complete trust." That's what had always set Sam and Caitríona apart. Their connection transcended gossip. They had built a decade-long partnership rooted in loyalty and laughter, carrying each other through sleepless nights of filming, media chaos, and personal milestones. Back in 2015, long before the fame reached its peak, Sam once said in an interview, "The best part of this job is having someone like Caitríona beside me. She keeps me sane." Fans resurfaced that quote now, connecting it to his latest confession. Some even stitched together a timeline, from the earliest auditions to their latest red carpet, showing how their bond had only deepened with time. One particularly viral fan edit opened with Sam's voice saying, "She's strong, kind, intelligent," followed by clips of Caitríona laughing, helping crew members on set, hugging fans, and smiling at Sam during press events. The final frame faded to black with the caption, "10 years later, he finally said it out loud." And yet, amid all the noise, both Sam and Caitríona handled the attention with grace. They didn't feed rumors or deny them. Instead, they leaned on what had always grounded them, humor and friendship. A week after the interview, Sam attended a charity event in London. When asked by a journalist if he'd seen the internet's reaction, he laughed, eyes crinkling. "I did. People are very enthusiastic," he said with a grin. "But you know, Caitríona's one of my favorite people in the world. I think everyone already knows that." That statement only reignited the wildfire. Fans interpreted it as another subtle declaration, while magazines called it the confession that keeps giving. Later that night, Caitríona posted an Instagram story, a throwback photo from their Outlander early days, the two of them sitting on set, both laughing uncontrollably. She captioned it simply with a heart emoji and the words, "Some bonds never change." It was enough to send the fandom spiraling again. Comment sections overflowed with messages like, "This is love in its purest form," and "They don't need to say it, it's written all over their faces." But beyond the excitement and theories, something deeper resonated with people. Sam's candid words had reminded fans around the world that genuine connection still existed in an industry built on illusion. His confession wasn't about gossip, it was about gratitude. As one entertainment journalist wrote, Heughan didn't confess a secret romance. He confessed admiration, the kind that comes from years of knowing someone's soul. And perhaps that's what made it so powerful. By the end of the month, the buzz had quieted, but the moment lingered, immortalized in clips, memes, and hearts. Whenever fans revisited the video, that same hush would fall when he said her name. It wasn't just the way he said Caitríona. It was the meaning behind it, the respect, the love, the quiet acknowledgement of a bond that had shaped both their lives. For some, it was a confession. For others, it was a thank you. But for everyone watching, it was something undeniably real. Because sometimes, the truest love stories aren't written in scripts or shouted to the world. They're whispered, softly, in the way one person says another's name.